At the beginning of the movie, a stunning girl reports from La Tomatina, the famous Spanish tomato fight. Her colleague interrupts her, saying it's not necessary to imitate a live broadcast. It turns out that Noel is an undercover agent, and there are plenty of agents around. This is a joint operation between MI6 and the CIA, aimed at catching arms dealer Viktor Gradov. The agents spot their target, but can't identify him. His face is covered by a hat. Then two more people in similar outfits appear. The team realizes it's a trap. The agents request access to the Echelon program to analyze the suspect's walk. After some back and forth, they are given access for just 1 minute. And then a van appears. Mercenaries disembark and methodically eliminate all the agents. They had been waiting for access to Echelon. Their hacker Arthur starts downloading files. Noel takes care of the thugs and the sniper. However, she gets trapped and is shot. She sees Gradov leaving and loses consciousness amidst the crushed tomatoes. The next morning in London, Prime Minister Sam Clark is watching the news. There are enthusiastic reports about the visit of the new U.S. president, actor Will Derringer. Afterward, Sam is briefed on the operation in Spain. Operatives were killed, including the leader of the group, Noel. In the afternoon, preparations are underway at Buckingham Palace to welcome the president. He says goodbye to his family, who is leaving for Italy. Tomorrow, a NATO summit will take place in Trieste, and Will be attending. But today, he has to meet with Sam, whom he doesn't like. Sam had lunch with Will's opponent and served the classic British dish, fish and chips. Will is also informed about the emergency in Spain. When he meets Sam before the joint press conference, he suggests they avoid discussing the special operation and instead talk about lighter topics, the military, energy. He tries to joke, but Sam remains serious. They talk to journalists about energy security, but the reporters are more interested in Sam's reaction to his ex-girlfriend's exploits. Will jokes that Sam should be sent on the Let's Get Married program. Sam gets angry and allows one reporter to ask about Spain, while another asks about the Echelon program, which monitors citizens. Will and Sam exchange sharp remarks. The argument continues even after the briefing. Sam boasts of his experience, while Will counters, "Check your ratings." The assistants decide that they should fly together to Italy to show unity. Gradov scolds his mercenaries for failing to cover key operative Arthur. He personally eliminates the sniper with a hot kettle. Meanwhile, the president and the prime minister board Air Force One. Sam tries to work, but Will calls him to talk to his family via video. Afterward, he remarks that Sam might actually be normal. He advises him to get married, as people don't trust bachelors. He adds that leaders must give people hope. Sam responds that hope is just postponed disappointment and mocks Will's low-quality movies, though he hasn't watched them. The chef brings food to the crew and suddenly starts stabbing one person after another with a knife. His accomplices seize control of the plane. The president and the prime minister are now almost fighting. Sam says he worked hard for his position, while Will got into politics because of his handsome chin, calling him a fake president. Just then, an unidentified plane appears beside them and suddenly launches missiles. The chef heads toward the president and prime minister, but a security guard knocks him out and leads the leaders away. Air Force One is hit, the pilots lose altitude, and the plane crashes into another aircraft. The chef grabs a parachute and sets fire to the others. The security guard finds 2 parachutes that survived and gives them to Will and Sam. He tells them they're above Belarus and need to reach a safe house in Warsaw, then pushes them out of the plane. The news reports that everyone is dead. Meanwhile, the president is hanging from a tree, arguing with the prime minister. Sam says the border with Poland is nearby and that they need to go. Will wants to wait for help and is about to call his wife. Sam points out that their security failed. He's obviously being monitored, and he knocks his phone out of his hand with his boot. Will gets angry, but eventually asks for help getting down. They walk through the forest, bickering and insulting each other. Meanwhile, acting President Elizabeth Kirk needs to update Echelon. She starts the procedure, but at that moment, Gradov's assistant takes over the system. Will and Sam spot some guys with a car in a nearby village. The president wants to ask them for a ride, confident they'll recognize him. Sam thinks it's better to steal the car. The guys notice someone trying to steal their vehicle. A brutal Belarusian fight breaks out. The guys grab forks, a hammer, and a rose. It seems like it's the end for Will and Sam. But then a farmer's wife shoots a gun. She asks if they're Americans. Sam lies, saying they're Canadians, and they head toward the border. The woman suddenly smiles and offers them a ride. The heads of state are riding in a truck with sheep. Will shares that he first traveled abroad when he was almost 30 and realized the world was split. He decided to use his fame to bring people together. Sam says he too believes in a brighter future, because he definitely won't be riding in manure. At the checkpoint, the car is about to be searched, but the farmer's wife bribes them with a sheep, and the car is allowed through. As they say goodbye, the woman says she's happy to help Mr. President. Will and Sam reach the safe house, but Echelon has already detected them. Gradov learns everything and orders them to be eliminated. At the safe house, Agent Marty reports that there's been a data leak from Echelon about how allied countries secretly acted against each other, spying and interfering in elections. Tomorrow, there won't be a summit, but a gathering of spiders in a jar. Now it's unclear what to do. Top government officials are compromised. Elizabeth is also informed that the Germans had a falling out with the French, and the Czechs with the Italians. She says that the leak will undermine the entire world because coalition members will fight each other and won't deal with the real enemies. Gradov's team of killers is heading to the Warsaw apartment. Marty arms himself and tells them where the emergency exit is. It's a poster on the wall, and it needs to be broken through. He heads into the battle. Using surveillance cameras, the young guy takes out the attackers, but the two most experienced killers reach him. Marty dies before he can blow up the criminals. Will and Sam get lost in the hallways, but find the poster. And on it, Uncle Sam. Will hesitates for a long time before deciding to hit it. Eventually, they get into the elevator, where Sam admits that Will looks great with a gun. At the exit, they are blocked by the bandits, but suddenly, a police car appears and rams them. A girl jumps out of it on the move. It turns out to be Noelle. Sam explains to Will that he worked with her. It turns out that in Spain, the girl was wearing a bulletproof vest, which saved her life. She tells them that Gradov is taking revenge for his son, a physicist who developed a unique technology. The boy needed plutonium for his experiments, and his father bought it on the black market. Echelon detected the transaction, and MI6 thought the scientist was creating nuclear weapons and bombed the place where he was. Then the U.S. appropriated his technology, and then they realized there's a mole in one of the governments. Sam recalls that during the flight with Will, his chief of staff, Quincy, insisted on certain things. He can't believe in his betrayal. Meanwhile, at Elizabeth's meeting, Quincy insists that everyone is dead. Although Will's assistant, Simon, reminds him of the events at the Warsaw hideout. Elizabeth brushes it off. Noelle declares that they need to get to Italy. Will reminds her that he's the commander-in-chief. The girl notes that not anymore. The vice president has taken the oath, and in Britain, the king controls the military. So now they're just two unlucky guys. Arthur sees through Echelon how the group gets on the train, but he doesn't tell Gradov. Sam decides to explain to Noelle why he disappeared after their meeting in Tripoli. He decided to run for office. Will suspects they have a romance. Afterward, Sam admits that he went into politics to build a good world where he and Noelle could grow old together. Just then, two men with pistols enter the compartment. Suddenly, they shoot at each other. Noelle points a gun at one of them, but Will and Sam ask her to let him finish talking. It's Arthur. He's mortally wounded. He explains that Gradov forced him to do what he didn't want. He says he doesn't know the traitor in the government, but they can be tracked via a secure connection he developed. Access to it is through a terminal in a town in Croatia. The man writes the password and warns that an armed squad will kill the fugitives at the next station. To survive, they have to jump off the train. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Kirk tries to convince world leaders to unite, but they want to disband the alliance. The vote will take place in a few days in Italy. Will, Sam, and Noelle reach the town in a stolen car. They enter a house, but it's empty. Then they notice a secret room made of mirrors. Meanwhile, cars with mercenaries arrive. Sam goes to fight, and Noel and Will work on accessing the system. The screen shows the traitor's data, and it turns out to be Simon, Will's assistant. Then a helicopter grabs the mirrored room and pulls it outside. Sam manages to cut one cable, but the structure hangs on the second one. The Prime Minister stays in the building, and Gradov shoots it with a grenade launcher. Will and Noel jump out of the room onto the roof of a house. Gradov reports to someone that he solved the problem, and then his accomplices get a message and look at him strangely. The man realizes that they've been assigned to kill him, and he gets rid of them. Will and Noel escape by boat, mourning Sam. From the port of Trieste, the president calls his deputy, asking to delay the NATO vote until his arrival, and to isolate Simon. Elizabeth sends a car for him, and there's a killer inside. He has Will and Noel in his sights. It turns out that Simon was framed. Gradov orders his mercenaries not to let Will and Sam reach the summit. Noel, seizing the moment, lunges at the killer, and Will accidentally kills the driver. Meanwhile, they're being shot at by Gradov's mercenaries. Then Sam appears in a fire truck and rams the bandit's car. The man jumps into their vehicle, and together they deal with the killer. Noel asks Sam not to die for the third time and kisses him. He, trying to escape from the pursuers, drives backward. Will turns on the satellite camera, and now the road is visible online. Noel jokes, "What else is in the Batmobile?" It turns out there's a smoke screen. The bandit's car falls off a cliff because of it, and Will fills the other one with blood. Sam breaks at the palace where the summit is taking place. Elizabeth is about to disband the alliance, but Will and Sam appear and call for its preservation. Elizabeth insists that the U.S. doesn't benefit from the alliance. They give, and everyone just takes. But the brainless actor doesn't understand that. And then Gradov shoots her, orders to eliminate everyone, and tries to escape in a helicopter. Noel stops him, then deals with the killer. Will and Sam exchange gunfire with Gradov, but he runs out of ammo. He grabs a harpoon gun and jumps into the helicopter. And then Sam remembers the end of the movie with Will, which he actually watched. He provokes Gradov to fire the only harpoon at him. And Will, using the statue of Cupid, stops the helicopter's rotor, and in the end, it falls. 2 months later, Sam is at a London restaurant texting Noel, who is on a mission again. Will walks in. The Prime Minister offers him fish and chips, and they have lunch, teasing each other. Meanwhile, Marty is flirting with girls in the Bahamas. He talks about how a bullet hit the metal plate in his head and how close he is to the president. They don't believe him and leave. And Noel joins Marty. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.